Morning. It's Tuesday, November 28th, and the truce between Hamas and Israel is theoretically over. Yesterday was the fourth day of the truce, and I don't have all the statistics on exactly what happened. But as of the first 3 days, Hamas had released a total of 58 hostages, primarily women and children, in exchange for the release of 117 Palestinians. And Joe Biden, the President of the United States, said the U.S. will push to extend the pause in fight. He wants to continue to have a truce. Having a truce is a great idea, but does it solve the problem? Yes, we'll have a truce and maybe more hostages will be released and able to come home to Gaza and to Israel. And both Hamas and Israel have discussed the possibility of a truce. But under the terms of the original truce agreement, Hamas needs to release an additional 10 hostages for each additional day's pause in the fight. Now, why would Hamas want to do that? Why would Hamas even want a truce? They want Israel done and buried. So a truce is a phantom vision. I don't see how you can possibly have a truce if you have 3 or 4 countries with their surrogates firing rockets constantly into Israel. So Israel and Gaza have a truce. But does that end the anti-Semitism, the anti-Jew situations in this world? No. So you release prisoners, or hostages as they're called. And what good does that do you in the overall picture? Does that make Israel a safe place to live? Does that stop the hatred and the anti-Semitism in the world? I don't think so. The truce is a temporary fix. It's a time for people to recover, and for those people that don't like Israel, it's a time to rearm and reinstitute their evil thoughts. A time to plan for the next incursion. So I don't know anything about truces, because they are temporary. They are not the final solution. So anybody that believes that a truce is a good idea is pissing in the wind. There's another piece of vital information that we must understand. Hamas is not the only one that is holding hostages. More than 40 hostages taken on October 7th are not being held by Hamas. So while we're going through this whole exercise with Hamas, there's still 40 people out there hanging in limbo. I'm not even sure who has those 40 hostages. Now this is definitely a complication, because a truce agreement calls for Hamas to hand over hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. And that means that Hamas must have hostages to hand over. But what if Hamas doesn't have any hostages? Are those 40 hostages stuck in some terrible situation? Now, it was reported previously that the estimated 40 to 50 hostages were held by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad or some other groups or individuals. But that was before the handover of the hostages began on Friday. This could be a major glitch in the turnover process. If there are 40 or 50 people who are being held by somebody beyond Hamas, and we can't get them, what happens then? Do we just throw in the towel? I don't think we will, but it's something that needs to come to the table quickly. And those who are holding these hostages have to be included in the process in some way, shape, or form. And that responsibility falls not on us, not on those people, not on Israel. The responsibility for those people falls in the arms of Hamas and its compatriots. So what are they going to do about it? Nobody knows right now. I don't think it's on the table yet. And that's a shanda. I mean, we have to be able to close the deal. This is a major glitch. It has to be straightened out. Can't close a deal and leave any hostages behind. That would be a shanda, a monumental error, a piece of poor workmanship if there ever was one. Before the hostages are released, Israel receives a list of those who are going to be released. So every day when these hostages were released, Israel got a list of those people. And if these people are in somebody else's hands, they're not going to be on any list. And then when they get the list, they discuss certain things about the list. But I don't know that that means that Israel's going to say, no, we don't want this guy. We'll take these two people instead of that guy. I don't think any of that goes on with this list or anything. They get a list. And if they don't have the hostages in their possession, they're not going to be on any list. So that's another glitch in the process, so to speak. Yesterday was the fourth and final day. So I don't know what's happening today yet. Now, we know that Biden wants this truce extended. And supposedly, both parties had discussed the possibility of extending the truce. But I don't know if that actually happened yet, or if there's been an announcement made. But I'll keep an eye out for it. One good thing that happened that nobody can dispute is that the citizens of Gaza are able to walk in the streets for a couple of days and do some shopping if there's any stores or anything like that that are still working. But anyhow, there were pictures in the paper of mobs of people out in the streets trying to get some fresh air. So this truce is helping not only the prisoners and not only those who are trying to negotiate some way out of this mess. It's had a good effect on the people of Gaza. Now, I'm not considering the people of Gaza totally innocent in this entire charade, in this entire battle. Because in my mind, 60 or 70% of them support Hamas 100%. And if you consider that ever since Israel gave them what I will call their freedom and left them with all of the terrain and everything, and they have done nothing, I can't feel sorry for them at all, because they had the opportunity to build a great life for themselves, and instead they chose to pick Hamas as their political arm, and this is the mess they've gotten themselves into. So if I saw a scintilla of remorse in the people of Gaza, and some thoughts of even changing the political persuasion of them and Hamas, etc., then I would feel a lot better, and I would look upon them getting out into the streets as a possible event, a good event, as possibly a change in their thinking. But I doubt that seriously. These people are hardcore anti-Israel, anti-Semites, etc. But right now, I just found out that there's been an extension of 2 days on the ceasefire.